Hi, Kim. I took your presence and movement class today, and it was wonderful. I got pretty nauseous and even angry after the class. I just started taking yoga. I've taken about a handful of classes, and my understanding is that, some of the teachers will say if you cry, that's okay. If emotion comes up, it's okay. It was a pretty charged, anger, and then a sort of a nauseous feeling. So I'm interpreting that as trauma that's being released. Do you have any, I know that's everything that you talk about, but do you have any recommendations or
Which pose were you in? Seal? Did it bring it up if you said nauseous? Do you remember?
I think it was the one where the one leg is straight back and the other is...
Oh, so swan. You were in sleeping
that's
swan.
That's where I started to notice the nausea.
Okay. Well, yes, it does mean that you've got some old trauma there that's held in probably your hips. A lot of times we carry old emotional wounds in our hips. Everybody carries it somewhere. So it might be for you in your hips. And what did you do anything when it came up? Or, I don't want to say do, but were you able to observe it and feel it?
I did. And then it persisted. I noticed myself being charged after the class. I walked fast, and I think I was a little bit more charged talking to other people at lunch.
So when you say charged, you mean feeling angry?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And did you drop the label anger when you noticed it was anger?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So that's when you start to feel that energy, that charge, the emotion, you drop the label. Because when you don't drop the label, it stays charged. It stays almost like stuck in you. It doesn't have room to move because you've labeled it, and then you just kind of put that label to it. You've taken a word and added it to a sensation. And then sensation is not about labels. It's about energy and movement. All energy always moves, whether it's pain body energy or your chi, your prana, it is always in movement. And what solidifies, or so-called seems to solidify an emotion, is when and there's nothing wrong with labels because it describes something when we're talking to somebody. So, but if you take that label and you just go, oh my gosh, I'm really angry. Oh, geez, I can't do it. Oh, you need to consciously drop the label. Consciously. And if it comes up again, the label, consciously drop it. And most important, relax your body on where you're feeling it. Because a tense body, the energy won't move either. So it's important to relax the body. So when I say relax, I mean truly relax. If you put your finger out like this, okay? And hold it really as tense it. So you're tensing the finger and then pull on your finger and look at your joint. Okay? Nothing is probably happening. Okay, shake out your hand. Hold out your finger, and this time relax your finger as you pull. Do you see how it pops out? The joint pops out, you're relaxed. So all that energy that could be trapped in the joints is going to release. If it's tense, you can't release that energy. If you label it, which is the same thing as almost tensing it up, you can't release the energy.
I have a secondary question as well.
First of all, do you still feel angry? Or did it kind of dissipate and lay dormant now?
It dissipated. I think the thing that stayed is, oh my gosh, I'm angry. I still have anger in me. What am I going to do about this anger? I need to figure out more yoga classes to take to get rid of this anger. I need to talk to my counselor about this anger. What's my plan for fixing this anger? That's what's staying.
Yeah, which keeps it there, keeps the anger there. You have to be willing to feel the sensation of it, no matter how strong it feels, without judgment, without labeling. Just allow it to do its own thing, because the body is really intelligent on its own, without our mind thinking about having to do something with it. So when the energy is there and you're relaxed and you let go of the labels, let go of any stories, I mean, they'll come up, but you just let them go. You don't have to follow them. You don't have to believe them. And you just feel. Then come back and talk to me and tell me what the difference is.
The other question that I had that I've been dying to ask either you or Eckhart, because you both quote a lot of scripture. This is part of the anger. I grew up in a very fundamentalist Christian denomination that talked a lot about hell and avoiding hell. I'm curious what you guys have to say about hell and the doctrine of hell, or being somehow separated, like missing the mark and somehow separated from God for eternity.
Yeah, I don't know that because I've never been there. You know what I mean? Like I haven't been somewhere else and I've seen, well, this is hell or this is heaven. All I know is this moment, you can either make your moment into hell or heaven. And I hear you, if you have grown up in a fundamentalist Christian household and you've had things put on you, it may take a while to separate the wisdom of the teaching versus the religion of the teaching that you grew up in, which is a big difference. So for a while, when I was married to my first husband, he was a Seventh-day Adventist. And he kept saying, oh, he wants to go back. And I'm saying, well, go. But every Saturday, so they worship on Saturday, they call it the seventh day. And I'd just say, go. But he would always not go when it came to Saturday. I go, do you want me to come with you? And I thought I would just go once, and I was able to just kind of help him if that's what he wanted to do. So I went with him. And of course, they preach a lot of Revelation, the end time, and how, in a way, you're going to be left behind. So I saw, and I felt afraid. Suddenly, it's like this fear got put on me. But when so many years have passed, and then when I decided I wanted to leave the church, it took me a long time to break away and to ever pick up a Bible or talk about Christ or any of the teachings. I happened to just be at this man I was dating. I was waiting for him, and I was sitting at his dining table, and he had Nisargadatta's book, I Am That, on his table. So I just picked it up while I'm waiting for him. Read one paragraph and my jaw dropped. I went, oh my God. It just answered all my questions about God in this one paragraph. And I would, in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, I would attend Bible studies, and we'd have the pastor come to our home and do Bible studies. And I would have questions, and he couldn't answer. And he would always say, I'll get back to you next week. But the next week would come, he goes, oh, I forgot. So, but anyways, this one paragraph answered all my questions, and like I was just hooked on Eastern teachings and read everything I could. But then even when you read things, you gotta, that's knowledge. You have to truly have a direct experience yourself. So when you begin to directly experience consciousness, spirit, Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, whatever you want to call it, when you begin to directly experience this yourself, you'll probably see the teachings that you have, what you grew up with, as you can take the purity of that teaching, not the religious aspect of it, not the fear that was probably instilled on you, not the, you're damned in hell, and you'll be able to then apply it without the residual effects that you had and that you may have now, which is part of the anger that you're experiencing. And it's so you drop the story of whatever you had put on you. And when I say drop it, I what I mean is that, okay, acknowledge it. You know it's there. You know you had this experience that caused this, in a way, dysfunction now of looking at consciousness, God. It doesn't matter. It's not the name, right? So, but when you look at that and have now begin to come into that stillness within you and really have some good direct experiences of that. Sometimes it takes one time, sometimes it takes many experiences. And then also apply with the things that you're reading, what you're watching spiritually, but don't just retain it in your mind. You now have to actually experience it. It's like you want to be able to embody it. That stillness within. Not just keep it up here, because you cannot experience God through the mind, through thoughts. And all that religion stuff are thoughts. Even when you read the Bible, if you don't have the direct experience of stillness itself, they too are just thoughts. And sometimes, excuse me, the thoughts are really good because they're a good pointer, and other times thoughts, they really don't do anything. So if it's pointing you to yourself, to look within yourself, to directly experience that consciousness, that stillness. What name do you like to use, by the way? Is there a name, particular label to call it?
I think I've started calling God life,
okay,
consciousness, but still God.
Yeah,
since
okay.
That's so, ingrained.
Right. So when you start experiencing life itself, then you will be able to see what are good pointers for you, what pointers you want to perhaps drop, like say the religious pointers that calling you, you're going to be damned in hell. And you can only experience God, life, consciousness in this moment Can't experience it in thought. You can't experience it in the future. You can only experience it in this moment. And as soon as you experience it, that too you have to let go. Otherwise, you're just holding it as a memory, as a thought form in your head. I can't tell you how many times I would have this profound meditation. I'm like, oh my God, I just experienced God. And then I go and sit for another meditation the next day, and I'm hanging on to that last experience. I want that last experience back. It's like, oh, that was it, so I got to get it. So I'm sitting there meditating. Of course, you never get it because I'm not even truly meditating, and that's being in this moment. I'm stuck in a memory, in an experience that I had. And no experience is God. You say that again. No experience, no matter how profound, is God. You can, yes, experience it, but as soon as you do, it's gone. You have to be in this moment. That's why when we're in PTM, I'm saying, come into bamboo, let go of the last moment. It's gone now. It's only a thought form. It's only a memory. Come here, now, in this moment.